We were trying to do a seamless presentation. I'm going to automated videos, but technology didn't want to work, so I have to jump between things. Apologies for that. Okay, quickly, I'm going to talk about the thing called Furniture Design Toolkit that we've been working at FIRA. Why are we going to talk about that? Because we were looking at people designing things and we find that they were missing a lot of things. They were not considering everything that was applicable in the design process. So we thought we'd try to give them some sort of a toolkit so they can address all these issues that I'll talk about later, so that they can provide a good product that is useful for everybody. The thing has been, you see it, I have seen over the years, there are beautiful forms, beautiful design. Just take a chair, say it looks beautiful. It's a piece of an artwork, so it really belongs to the museum. But what we try to do is try to use it in schools, offices, at home. So it has the form, but not the function, or vice versa. What we are trying to do with the design toolkit is to make sure that we combine form and function at the same time. So there was a recent example, you're familiar with Apprentice in UK? TV program? Right, I need to show you a clip. I don't know how we get to that one. It is here. That will sit, they were amateurs, but they were designing a chair. Oops.
4 p.m.
Can someone just take notes of these measurements? 550 by 550.
1 hour before designs must be finalised.
I'd say take it up maybe another 200.
Pretty big.
Put it against the back of the chair. Yeah, but that's very high.
It comes up to
yeah,
here.
that chair is high.
That's too high.
No, the chair is high. Don't forget the chair is raised.
Yeah, but it's still too high.
Okay,
it's too high.
I think it's been really, really good that I've been here being the lead designer, because it was originally my idea. As far as kind of dimensions and such, I have felt really, really at home, ensuring that the product is a very good size. So, I mean, if I was sitting down there, it's more about the 450, which means it's about 500 mil.
Don't forget that women are smaller than men.
We're talking centimetres, a single centimetre.
But it makes such a difference sometimes with these
Whoa. This is only 400. What? Who said to me it was 490? It's 400, I'm sitting on it now.
I don't know how you managed to get
Right, 2 seconds, yeah, because I sat down.
But don't sit, it doesn't matter, we know how you're sitting, measure the chair. So, the width is definitely not 320. 320 is there.
320 is too small.
Not even Jordan
too small.
can fit there.
We'll do a square base then, 460
exactly, 460 by 460.
That's what it was anyway.
Still tight, you've got arms coming up.
Yeah, but the thing is,
not you, Jordan, somebody average size.
It's a bit tall, isn't it? I mean, I'm a short bloke, Jordan. I'm not sure. If you sit on that, do your feet dangle like mine would?
Right. Okay. Now we jump back to. Oops, close this one. I knew this was going to give me a problem. There you go. Right. So, as you can see, that was an amateur approach, but you will be surprised. There are some designers around still not far from those. All they do is they design it for themselves, they sit on it, they do whatever they want to do with it. This is fantastic, there's nothing wrong with it. And we have been talking to a number of design groups within the industry. Guess how they decided the chair was good? Because the managing director sat on it, he liked it, that was it. That's defined a good design. So we think we need some sort of guidelines to help the designers to change the situation. So the aim of the project was to provide furniture designers with some useful guides with sort of different aspects of furniture design areas. The idea wasn't to tell the designer this is how you should do it. It's not a prescription. You don't follow step by step. It's bits of information that you should be aware of, and you pick it up as and when necessary. So we were going to give them a toolkit, various different tools. So if you needed to drive a nail, you could find a hammer from the tool bag and then use that. So it was that kind of approach. We were trying to make sure they understand different aspects of design and final product that's being used by people. So the idea is they will provide a safe, ergonomic, and aesthetically pleasing solutions. In the design toolkit, we are including things like standards. The standards, you can't get away from it. There are out there, we have to sort of be aware of it and make sure that we understand what the standards are. The idea of the design toolkit is not to get the designers to design to a standard. That's a disaster. What we want them is to be aware of what's in this standard, so therefore they can understand what we're trying to provide information for. And on the other hand, we are trying to develop standards which are much more open, so it doesn't restrict the design, allows the people to have more different ideas and design it differently. It tries to give the essence of it. It also includes things like user trials. Well, like I just said, people user trials to a lot of designers meant, I sat on it, I liked it, it's therefore that was the end of that. So we're trying to explain what the user trials are, what it really means. And again, anthropometrics, you heard, you're the wrong guy, get the average one. How many designers ask you what's the average size of a child when we're designing a school chairs? That average still exists. They're not aware of these such variety of anthropometric body dimensions available in different places, which they need to use when they're designing their furniture or any other product. And the other thing is task analysis to find out what you're trying to achieve with the product you're designing. So it is important for them to understand what the purpose of it is. Initially, toolkits we're going to provide will be covering office and contract furniture and educational sector, because we think that's probably the most important two sectors at the moment to drive. Domestic side of things, we haven't even looked at it. There's lots of issues there as well, but we're concentrating on these two. So what would be the benefits of the furniture design toolkit? Will be the faster development time, so we will make sure that the products will be, well, you wouldn't be spending too long trying to develop because you got them wrong in the first place. Trying to get them right in the first instance would reduce the time it takes. With better understanding of standards and ergonomics, what happens currently is people design nice, good furniture, functional, everything else, but because they weren't aware of various standards, that they'll fail, and so a number of contracts will specify you must comply with that standard. But because you haven't thought about the standard, you haven't designed the factors they're looking for, it'll cause a failure, and therefore it will not get into the marketplace. So you need to be aware of it. User guides, user trials to improve designs, so the products will have a better usability and will be comfortable for most people they're sitting on. So that is basically what we think the benefits of the design toolkit is. What we're planning to do is we're going to launch in September at 100% Design in London. And we're just setting up a website for people to look at it and to give us any ideas, suggestions to improve it. So that's going to be at 100% design. So, okay, now we look at the issues why we thought it was important to develop a design toolkit. So here, a number of things. Dimensional suitability is probably the first thing. And then we had fitness for purpose. Users' well-being was never thought in the design of a product. Comfort, again, has not been thought about. Aesthetics, sometimes has, sometimes not. And user perception of both comfort and fitness for purpose is very important, and some designers do not pay attention to that. So these were the issues we were driven by to develop a design toolkit. So I'm going to look at dimensional fit. This is the kind of thing you would think about. You could design one size fits everybody, especially for schools. If one child, one chair tries to fit across the whole age group, which we know is not right. Okay. Here, there's someone designed because he was told it fit him, so everybody else hard luck. It was okay for him. So now, you've got to, I'm going to show you a video, if I can find, which one is that?
take a look inside most schools, and the furniture for each age group has probably been designed to the one-size-fits-all principle. But the theory of a standard shape and size for every pupil in the class just doesn't stack up. With conventional tables and chairs, the result is slumped shoulders, curved spines, the aches and pains that can signal physical problems in later life. Ergonomic research proves that good posture comes from chairs that keep our spines straight and desks that avoid us slumping down or reaching up. Conventional furniture encourages poor posture. Back bent, spine curved, shoulders hunched. Q-Learn keeps our spine straight, legs at an angle and desks at just the right height.
Because obviously children have different sized legs, and you've got the small children, the tall children. It's brilliant how you can adapt the chair to the child, and that's what we need.
Whatever your age, whatever your physique.
Right, we close that one. So the other issue was the fitness for purpose. In other words, especially in the case of schools, you need to be aware of what kind of teaching techniques or what children are expected to do. Unless you understood that, you wouldn't be able to design the correct furniture. Here, this was a number of years ago by Design Council sponsored event with competition, and this is one of the winners. If you could see on that one, it's got wheels, so this mobility is one part of the whole thing, and the stem at the back of the has got a gas cylinder height adjustment. So it was a combination of those, and we found that it was working in a kind of environment. Reorganization was quick and regrouping. Rather than moving tables and chairs around, you could swing your chairs and move the tables about. So it was one of the good examples we had. And here are some other ways of doing it. This is typical in Scandinavia, especially Denmark. What we call a mandal type of seating. It's a double slope. So that is a different approach than the traditional seating. So we talked about standards. There is a current school furniture standard which came out in 2006, and we are currently revising it. We're hoping to finish it by 2013 and 14. This section, part one of the standard, provides dimensions for both traditional type of sort of 1990 sitting tables and chairs, and mandal type of seating, which are high and double slopes. And we've introduced height selectable furniture, and for the first time we introduced the concept of the standards height adjustability. For years no one ever thought about adjustability was important. So we have introduced height adjustable furniture, and secondly, in order to encourage movement, we have introduced standing work surfaces of high tables. And it's interesting, since 2006, how many calls did I receive? What is the right stool size to sit at these standing work surfaces? The idea was for them to stand up, so teachers or someone else want them to sit down again. Sitting down is not so good, we need to observe, but it is there. And also, we are now much more aware of things, perching and stools. And I think Simon's product is going to be part of the standard to see how we deal with that kind of approach, just perching, not strictly sitting. So in the revision process, we get to look at these and improve it. That is the standard side of things. And also the other thing is, fitness for purpose. A dining chair is never good for a chair that is you're going to use your computer on. And this is a typical thing in in workshops in schools. They have these chairs. They're supposed to be able to sit on these things and write on a bench, so you can see how appropriate the choice of furniture is. There's a recent design, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with, it's a chair called Gesture by Steelcase. The arm design is quite revolutionary. The reason for that is they had done a lot of studies and looking at people using new handheld devices. And what you do is you're doing this. This is the posture. Your arms are unsupported, your neck is here. So what you want is your arm to be supported anywhere, and you move it quite a lot. So the arm is easily moving, like a monitor arm. It moves in 3D very easily. So looking at these new devices, people are coming up with some solutions. Currently, that is the biggest challenge in office. People are not using desktop computers. Laptops are all their way out. Everything else is handheld devices. And that forces this posture. And we're getting so much neck and shoulder pain that people reporting. So the way we have to look at it is how people are working with what technology. We need, or the designs are going to address that. So there's other thing is you have chairs and things which lots of adjustments, but you don't have good instruction leaflets. People complain because it's not good for them because they can't set it correctly. You could end up with these strange postures. Even someone adjustable chair without good instructions or knowing what the good posture is. Now back to the schools, well-being of users. Schools need to take broader account of the link between healthy bodies and minds. That used to be years ago. In the last 50 years, 30 years, we've lost that. So we need to go back to that. We need to go beyond increasing healthy eating and promoting bouts of exercise such as brain gym. In UK, you know, we've got all this new healthy eating initiatives, but no one thinks about the furniture they're sitting on. That's actually ruining their backs for a long time, but we need to address that. The environment, furniture and teaching activities need to allow natural movement and healthy postures throughout the day. So any design of furniture or activities that children are doing must encourage natural movement, and the furniture should be able to provide support for that motion. I think we already talked about sit up straight, that's the old Victorian thing. Sit up straight, don't move. That's still amazing in schools it persists, and teachers think if children move, they're disruptive. It's an old-fashioned opinion that will sort of distract from attention, and concentration is no longer valid. People think if you move, you don't concentrate. However, movement is absolutely essential when sitting down. You cannot adopt a static posture for any length of time, so you must constantly be in motion. Human body, especially those growing children, requires steady flow of blood and hence oxygen and nutrients. If you sit in a static posture, you don't get that. So therefore, static postures, especially in school environments, should be minimized. Here is another example. We could just look at a child. Oops. Which one? I'm sorry. Play. There's no sound on this one. This is a prototype. I don't think you ever seen this. It was in the UK. It is just like a foam. It's cut up in a shape. It's got the 3 different angles on the seat, so you get everything in 3 settings. Just let the child move on its own when they're working. Notice she's not sitting still, just continually want to rock. Right, so let's go back to the other. Oops. So, dynamic sitting is very important. Children would need chairs that allow them to rock and recline a little, or turn around, talk to others, or watch the teacher moves. Teachers do not like children to move around, to turn around. Do you know why? Because they think they're disturbed. If you have a 4-legged chair, can you turn on it? No. You have to move your chair and make a lot of noise. So that's why teachers say, don't do it. This picture I showed you earlier on the swivel chair, we've tried that in a classroom. It was after lunch where the children are going to feel sleepy, and the teacher was moving around the classroom. They just carried on following, looking at the children, turning and rotating on their chairs. There was no noise, their attention was good, and they actually learned. So it is possible to give them movement without just being disruptive. So it is an issue of a design. They need to do this safely. The other thing is, you remember from your days, have you not ever tried to rock your chair backwards? Did you not? You all tried to push it back. So, you know why were you trying to do that? You were trying to upset the class? No, you just wanted to move. So there's someone designed a chair called Don't Lean Back chair. He's designed it in such a way that it was very difficult to turn it back. Children want to rock, so if you give them something to rock, that does safely. That's the most important thing. Rather than saying, do not rock that chair, do not lean back, let them do it gently. In every office, we got chairs that moves backwards and forwards. We don't tell each other, why are you rocking about? So why are we saying that to children? You know, children need more movement, and they can do it without being destructive. So that's the design. You can come up with the right design, allows that. This is a lot of things that teachers do not want these things because they are expecting something based on the traditional furniture. If you had a good furniture, new ergonomic furniture, full of what you want, that would not be the case, and it will actually help everybody. Comfort. What is comfort? We all think we're comfortable. From an ergonomics point of view, there is no such thing as comfort, because your body cannot feel comfort. The only way thing is going to feel is discomfort. You feel aches and pains. So you could argue the lack of aches and pains of discomfort is kind of comfort. So when we do, from an ergonomics point of view, look at assess chairs for, does that mean telling I finished, I have to stop, okay. I'm nearly there. Okay, so we look at if people are reporting tiredness or numbness or aches and pain, that shows that the chair is not comfortable. So comfort, if you're comfortable in a chair, you are unaware of the chair, you're feeling relaxed and alert. You're not sort of so relaxed that you fall asleep, you're not conscious of the chair. So you do whatever you're doing without being conscious about, because it's allowing you to do natural movements. So I've talked about designers designing to a standard. What happens, they design one, it's not comfort. The standards aren't measure of as comfort. It is just dimensional things. The comfort is totally different. And also comfort means, if you sit on this chair 1 hour, that's probably okay, but if you sit on this chair for 8 hours a day, of course it wouldn't be comfortable. It depends what you're using it for, where you're going to use it. And aesthetics is very, very important. People got to like the look of it. Are you familiar with this old rocking chair? I like rocking chairs because it gives me motion and always think there's some movement in there. There's 2 leaf school chairs, Tipton by Mitra and Newton chair by Orange Bot. They both work on this principle of rocking without being disturbing the classroom. So, and they look good, and the children like it. Once children like the look of it, there is the ownership of it, and they will not damage it, they'll use it carefully. User perception is very, very important. People get to feel or perceive it to be comfortable and not looking like a machine. You have a lot of chairs in office environment, office sector, hundreds of levers and things. You can adjust it to fit you, but it looks like a machine. And people do not want to sit on a machine. They want to sit on something they perceive to be comfortable and good looking. So if something appears flimsy, people do not like it, and color and texture is very important. So we do user trials. We do not have different colors, because the first thing people will notice the color, they'll choose the color, they'll think they perceive that to be comfortable immediately. So we'll give everybody black chairs so they can have a better judgment of it. That's all I'm going to say. Any questions, I think we'll have to deal with at the end. Well, thank you very much. I'm sorry if I went on.